Hello and welcome. Today's date comes in that of Thursday, the 4th day of June 2020. My name is Derek. This is the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades, and of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. We'll look over that of Theta and Bitcoin. And Theta has been what I'm shown a lot lately because it's been, I guess you can say, quote unquote, in the news lately. And it's been pumping and it's been retracing back from its gains. And when it's time for another coin, at least the ones that I've been following and trading, are going to do it, then you probably get the coverage on that. And if I haven't yet talked about, I think, or it looks like we're in a dartboard rally, or one looks to be happening soon. I'm not even saying that. I mean, I'm saying that it looks like last call for cryptos and precious metals is in. I think the you-know-what's hit the fan kind of degree. And for 2018-19, I wasn't saying that. But anyway, that's what's going on. And we're looking at the 1 hour time frame with Theta, which just comes back to the mid-March lows. And then from the breakout lows in April. So at this point, the market was moving, and then it came up and it hit this line. And it hit this line even beforehand, just not shown in here. At that time, that line, at least for why I put it in, was not in play. But usually when I put in, and this is Fibonacci key fib lines, they usually work out to key areas. So as it retraces successfully, has the support at this general previous area of resistance after higher low support here as well. It manages to come back towards that level and then have a nice little breakout. It then goes sideways for a while, and once it clears this level of resistance, concise move to this point. But at this line, there really wasn't much for resistance. Yeah, there was. It pierced extra. At first, it was like, oh, it looks like it's going to break higher. Well, sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. This time, it eventually would later. Thus, it was a pierce extra, even resisting here, and then making a very good intra move trend, counter trend, sell off, I guess you could say. The major trend being higher, and that's a very big sell off from point low to point high. That's about 76% of a retracement. And then it comes back, it matches that level, piercing extra. We've even seen a little support from it at the 17-hour stamp, that is, coming back to it again, and now finding lots of support. And when it broke the established, notice a very concise move. The high volume comes in, and then it comes right up to this next point, all of which is on high volume. Are we finding resistance here? Well, yeah. But it didn't have much of resistance. I guess this is a term of weak resistance, whereas when you had the sell-off that I showed before where it had like the big move, like this is a stronger level of resistance since it came back to this level. This didn't do anything coming back to even 2300 or any of that type of nature at that time. Then a concise move to the 4000 number where it only resisted for a bit, another weak resistance spot, and then the leg higher. So the Fibonacci is from the lows that I shown in mid-March, a little under 1000 in the 6400 highs. So as it's going down, these numbers are ones you can know. So you find support here at 4,060. That's a 23.6% down move. Only 3 periods of consolidation through time. No real rally, but just a little bit. And then a clear break. So this is a statement here. When this came in, this is a statement that this was going down to next key level, the 3,000 mark. And it most certainly did. It didn't take too many periods. It did so on the top of the day, at the end of the day. And it made the statement at like 1,600 hours. So it took 8 periods to make that play. And then I've always said, oh, yeah, but now at this level, which was support, I'll be looking for that resistance. Well, it didn't resist it here because it pierced it less. And then we support it, and it goes down. So what we now look at is, okay, so at this stage here, we're looking at more time support is tested. This stayed in a downtrend descending triangle. So now we got the statement of this going to the next level, which is about that under 2,000 mark, especially as it has this clear, lots of time, decent grinding its way lower. And then we resist this area, so I'm not looking for this as support to be resistance. Come back down, retest this previous level of support. Again, we retested, even piercing through, but definitely not holding there. And now we have a little bit of a rally, get up to this point, support the 18 average, get close to this 3,000 number. And that's where it stands. And now it's showing weakness at this point. So the statement made back in here was that it was going down to the next key level. So to me, it still looks like that's the case. If you're ever looking for what would be quote unquote a good short play, I'm not going to say it's going to win or lose. And quite frankly, I hope it would actually win. But whatever happens, I'm happy with overall, because I'm not going to be selling any Theta here to bet for it to go down. I've already done a lot of that type of stuff. I sold very aggressively on the way back, on the way up. I've already bought a little bit on the way back down, but not as much as I want, because it barely went down. But if it goes down to under 2,000, I'll get a decent amount of buybacks, and even more if it goes down to the 76.4 fib number of 14 2/3. On the daily term time frame, again, we've had all of these breaks, 4 of them, where the price action has gotten up to well north of 3,000 Satoshi, doing so on the Binance Open, November 30th, 2018, for a few weeks at the start of 2019, and again, just recently. Every single time it came back down to this little area in here. This one even deeper, so when this rally came, I'm like, okay, yeah, but let's see it hold around 1,700, and so you can see here it failed at this point. Then it retested this lowering high in this, and then breaking down below. And this whole time was resisting this support. I was waiting for like 700 Satoshi to buy more. Never happened. So be it. And now the key though is the must hold is like 1466, but I'd like to see it for the market's sake to hold 1943. But I'd like to see it go to 1466 and then back higher, only because the lower it goes, the more of a buyback that I'm going to get, given that when it goes up, I sell for other currencies, which is like the LITECOINs, the Tezos, the Bitcoin Cash, so on and so forth. And then on the way back down, then I'll just turn them back into it and then try to gain both coins along the way. And for information on how I do it, I don't talk much about it, at least lately, but always in the more information box, the videos for it are there. And I put them in there because there's no need for me to say the same stuff over and over again, because the strategy and the metagame for how you trade it is the same as it was when I recorded those videos. Anyway, on with that of BTC. And normally I show the Bitstamp exchange because I like to use the drawing tool, and a lot of times I'll just do this and push the remove drawings, but these are Fibonacci lines I put in a long time ago because it represents this high and this low. So as we were moving into 2019, year and a half now, I've known that these are the 4 key numbers. On the way up, no resistance whatsoever. It supported it for a few periods. Then the next one, no resistance whatsoever, not even supporting it really. The next one, it resisted a little bit less. And ultimately, it managed to break above it and resist the next one, which was a 76.4, then supporting that level that it didn't resist for several weeks, breaking down on September 23rd and then resisting it later on October the 21st, piercing less. That's the odd time. But, I mean, Bitcoin did it before, because this move here was a major pierce less again. When I had Fibonacci hair above 3,000, it did a hair above that number. But then after this support, we resist this level again. And now we have this failed breakdown, because now what has happened here is a very strong setup. And when we see it on this angle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 consecutive green candles up. But overall, from the low, pretty much a nice, good rate of ascent to the highs. And over the last, now this being the 5th period, showing what I like to call strength amongst the 18 average of highs, which is a bullish setup. And it seems as if the likelihood that this thing in the near term, ASAP really, for it to break 11,300 and then get up to this 12,800 level, it really does seem very likely. We could see that on the daily chart even. We've had a lot of resistance at this, and the breakout attempt occurring on June the 1st immediately rejected the next day. But after the immediate rejection, what did it do? Well, I'm seeing it right now supporting this level of resistance, at least on a more shorter term basis. Yesterday's session paused at the 18 average of highs, but right now it's got a higher low from yesterday's level. It's got a higher high as well. So the intraday session to me looking very productive. I'm going to switch it up to the Tether exchange now and the 8-hour term time frame for 2 reasons. One, because of this will show better volatility or better candles in the shorter term, and I can now use this drawing tool as I wish. But this is that failed breakout. Right in here we can see all of this resistance So it manages to get above it in here, and typical gets right back into its previous range that it had from before. But what it didn't do is continue what you would expect from a failed move, fast move in the opposite direction. It's doing the quite opposite. Because fast move in the opposite direction would mean when a situation like this occurs, when you're looking at just this, this is telling you to be very concerned that this thing is going to go lower, at least a test between the 87 down to the 82, and we'll see what happens from there, because I wouldn't even be too excited at that point, although you never know. That's what the message was. So you have a pause level that can be both bullish and bearish, but you're still in the bearish statement that was made. Yet in here it's coming in and it's holding this okay. The 18 average ain't declining. And hold on there, and then we have a situation, even on this stamp here at 4 o'clock. We can see how it comes down the 18 average of lows, so it retraced back down to this previous area, recaptured it, and now it's holding within this area. So there's, to me, showing a lot of strength within this market move. And even more so when we take a look at it from here, we established a lot of support in here. You can even state this was the original, you can even upgrade it literally and figuratively and just right up to this point, because we've had a lot of support at 94.60. If you want to, you can just lift it up to like this general area and then put another line, or put like you do like a little box from this level, because if this level breaks, the next key point I'd be looking at is in here. As far as resistance was concerned, we had this extreme low volatile amount here at 95 change, which got above it. Then we established resistance at 96.39, which really it supported it here. And then it got above it today at 9 o'clock in the morning, and so far managing to get up to this point holding, and within a time correction so far. And you can look at, I'm not going to calculate, but Fibonacci from this high to this low, it's, I got to think it's not quite at 96. I'm going to calculate it. I'm just curious. So we got 10,380. Okay. I said I wasn't going to do it. Of course I do it. And then this low in here comes in at 92.66. So I'll give you some short-term numbers. Okay, so the first thing I'm looking at is 95.18. Let's just change these lines now and just put those lines in. 95.18 ballpark area I'm going to do, which of course is the area of the congestion that happens. It's only luck that was the area, of course. I always say that. And then we have 96 and 7/9, 96.77, which is where we just surpassing now. Right in here, so that was this level of resistance here. So it's gotten above the 38.2, so now it's moving into the 61.8 level. So the statement that it's making is we're going to probably go to close to 10,000, 99.39. That's what it's telling me is likely. So with every good setup comes, if a good setup doesn't happen, a very good, decent opposite end play will happen. I even got an email earlier, and I'm going to go through this now, about the situation of could this market go down significantly, like 4, 6, 7, 8, well not 8, but 4, 6, 7,000, 4, 6,000 anyway. And when you look at the thing of anything's possible, sure, why not, of course. And I look at Bitcoin in itself as, it's not really guaranteed, I don't think. I'm just moving the black screen. It's not guaranteed, just that I think gold and silver is. And I think the chances we have a good leg higher coming up is pretty big. So we're in this symmetricalness, and any type of correction, at least down to where we are now, we're talking about 6,000. And you know what? That's like a normal type of whatever correction. And if there's any type of reason where there's any type of global capitulation, sure, it can happen. But I got to think that the chances that we would be finding higher lows, like that we've been finding before, are going to come into play. Even this higher low hit this high. So the first time it came back, we had a good bounce. Then the descending triangle. Then we hit this bottom in here. Amazing bounce. Several lower lows, ultimately right now to this one. So key low on the first move lower here, the matching one. And if you get towards it, well, we'd be looking at a retest of that. That could happen, and we could even have the higher low to this if there's any point. But we could have like any type of major deflationary moves occur after the fact, and the fact would be a big play. So we could potentially see, oh, this thing breaks out. Even the way the setup is, I wouldn't be surprised if it's fast. This thing could be up in here in like a month or two. And then we have a capitulation move where this comes back like down to here. And then it goes from like 20 to 10 or 20 to 12 or 13 or something like that. Most certainly different ideas, because I gotta continue to expect that the crypto land is going to stay very volatile, which is why I'm glad to see a move like Theta happens, and why I'm hoping for, yeah, let's go like 6,000 down to like under 2,000, then maybe back to like 6,000. Maybe this time we'll do a 3,400 higher low, then up to 16,000, back to 4,000. I mean, that's the type of movements I want, because that's more profitable for me. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye bye.